Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going back to a pre-loved luxury discussion. So today I'm going to be talking to you about how to maintain the value of your bags. What are some of the best ways to keep them in great condition? So if you're new here, hello, and my name's Catherine, and my channel is KWSHOPS. Please hit the subscribe button down below if you like this video and you'd like to see more from me. The first thing that I want to, there are two things I kind of want to touch on before I get started with the subject of the video. And the first one is that no matter what I say today, no matter what anyone else says in the comments down below, you absolutely need to do what works for your lifestyle, and you absolutely should buy things that you love. You absolutely should be buying things and adding things to your wardrobe and your collection that fit in with your style and work with your lifestyle. And the next thing I think is really, really, really important to remember is that a handbag is not a reliable financial investment. But generally speaking, if you're not willing to buy a bag and leave it, never use it, leave the plastic on it, leave it in the box for 10 years and wait for the price to go up and double and triple, then I would recommend staying away from handbags as financial investment. You are not usually necessarily going to recoup all of your money back for it, and I really wouldn't suggest using money to buy pieces with the mindset that you are going to make money selling them. I really would avoid that. Yes, of course, there are some exceptions. Things like this do happen, but especially when you're buying new pieces, I would definitely recommend not going into a purchase with that type of mindset, because nine times out of 10, I feel like you'll be disappointed. If you're new to my channel, you may or may not know that I work for a luxury consignment boutique where we do resell handbags. So I really do see the market and how things fluctuate and what are the real numbers that people will, purchase a handbag for. To that end, when you do sell your pieces, you should definitely be expecting to take some sort of a loss. Now, the important thing that I'm going to be speaking about today is how to manage that loss. For me personally, I think a great resale value for a bag, for any piece, is for you to be able to sell it for 20% less than the original retail value. Typically that only happens with items like Chanel, Hermes, and Louis Vuitton because their handbags do not go on sale. Almost every other designer, every other brand will go on sale at some point in the year. I just really felt like I had to preface with that before I even got started. And actually, I have a question, yes. So I'm going to pose this question to you, and please answer in the comments down below. How do you feel about paying retail or above retail for pre-owned merchandise? Because I'm very curious. Actually, I am in a Facebook group called Louis Vuitton Addicted, which I will try to link down below. So the Louis Vuitton Addicted group is a great place to buy and sell Louis Vuitton pieces, and a lot of the time you will see things priced very close to retail. Me personally, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't buy something at retail pre-owned, but if you are willing to do that, I would love to pick your brain. So please let me know in the comments down below how you feel about that. At this point in my life, I just don't feel like that's for me, and I just don't understand the reasoning behind it. So I would love to learn a little bit of your thought process. So I'm gonna stop rambling, and I'm gonna get into the topic today. As I mentioned earlier, I do the pricing and research for a luxury consignment boutique, and one of the biggest things that I have to take into account when I'm putting a price on an item is the condition that it comes in. The first thing that I'm going to recommend that will maintain the value of your bag is to buy classic pieces in classic colors. Now, I know that's not always the case. Sometimes you will see a seasonal piece that really tugs at your heartstrings, and if you love it, absolutely make it a part of your collection. But if you're not necessarily married to it, then perhaps consider going towards a more neutral color that really will be able to take you through many seasons to come. The next things that I'm going to talk to you about are ways to keep your handbag in great condition when it does come time to sell it. There are so many times where the most beautiful bag will come in, but the condition just isn't there. And if people are willing to buy pre-owned at all, they definitely prefer, when they're spending big money, for it to come to them in good sellable condition. So the first thing that you want to do is avoid buying light colored leather bags. Now, white bags look beautiful, they look great. I buy white shoes all the time and I think they look great. against really super tan skin. I think it's absolutely beautiful. However, after a couple, I mean, I would say after a year of use, a white leather bag is definitely it's gonna show stains and staining and dirt a lot more than a darker colored one, and it's really unfortunate. And for me, one of the worst offenders is light colored patent leather. For example, the Louis Vuitton vernis. We've gotten so many Louis Vuitton vernis pieces in, you know, fuchsia and gray and white and all kinds of things. And when they come in, a lot of the time will show color transfer. Like the patent leather and lighter colors will actually absorb ink and dye from other items or that it's touching. So I would definitely avoid light colored patent leather and just light colored leather in general. Suede is also a pretty bad offender in my opinion. So just avoid light colored leather as best you can. And when you are shopping for a piece, I would say to check the resale value for that piece before you actually do go and purchase it new. Because you know what, if you can get a great deal shopping pre-loved instead, I would suggest going that route. So what happens so many times, unfortunately, is that someone will spend $2,000 on a handbag and then the bag will only be able to sell for maybe $300 or $400 in the end. And okay, so the next thing I would say is to keep as many of the accessories that come with the bag as possible. So that's the box, the dust bag, like any serial cards, any tags. I would say also keep your receipt. A lot of the time I guess people are more comfortable buying them that way. It doesn't necessarily, I wouldn't say that people would necessarily pay more money because the box and dust bag are available, but they'll be more likely to buy it in the first place. So you'll be able to sell it faster, sell it more quickly as opposed to for more money necessarily. I hope what I'm saying makes sense. A lot of the time I do understand that boxes are a little hard to keep if you don't have a ton of space, but definitely always hold on to your dust bag as best you can. So that brings me to my next point, which is keep your bag stuffed and stored properly. A lot of the time when bags come in, even if they haven't been worn, if they have been stored incorrectly and, you know, kind of squished together, they'll show signs of wear even though the bag hasn't been worn. So what I recommend is to keep your bags stuffed when they're not in use. So this is my Louis Vuitton Belmont. This was the first bag that I actually purchased myself. I bought it pre-loved about 2 years ago. And as you can see, I think it's in really good condition if I were to ever sell it. So the way I have this bag stored is I keep my dust bag inside of it, and I keep it stuffed with air paper or scarves or stuffing or old t-shirts, even anything that you have available. This is air paper that I got out of an Amazon package, and I know a few people have mentioned buying air paper off of Amazon, but I just buy things off of Amazon and they come with air paper. So my next tip on keeping your bags in great condition is to switch out of it weekly or regularly in general. I would try to stay away from using the same bag every single day for a number of months, unless it is like a coated canvas and doesn't have any vachetta leather or something like that. Switching out of it weekly will just, you know, the more you wear a bag, the more worn it's going to look eventually. It's pretty obvious, but I definitely do wear your bag because that's why you bought it, and I think it would waste money more than anything to just not wear it at all. But I think it's important to just, you know, not overdo it with your bag, and you'll be able to maintain the shape and structure of the bag a little bit better than, you know, you would if you overwear. The next thing that I like to do is use bag organizers, and I have a number of reasons for using a bag organizer. So this one here is my Givenchy shopper tote. It has all my stuff in it at the moment, so that's why it's sort of a little heavy right now. But I bought a bag organizer from Original Club. You probably can't see it in here because it is black, so it sort of looks like there's nothing in here, but there is. But the reason I do this is because it will maintain the structure of the bag a bit more. And I'm lucky that this bag is made of canvas as opposed to leather, but in general, this bag doesn't flop over and it's not creasing because I do have something supporting it. So these next two things are for the inside of the bag. I can't tell you how often this happens, but we get beautiful bags in all the time, but then you open it up and on the inside, they just look gross. Now, the first thing I'm going to say, make sure that I say this, I can't stress this enough, avoid putting ink pens inside of your bags. Avoid putting ink pens inside of your bags. avoid putting ink pens inside of your bags. Yes, a lot of the time lining inside of bags will be a lighter color or a lighter leather or something like that. Sometimes they're lined in suede and lighter colored microfiber. Like when you carry an ink pen inside of your bag, it could explode, or if it's one of those like click pens, it could start clicking and then it writes all in the inside of your bag. No matter what happens, someone's going to look inside of that bag and see that, and most of the time they'll be turned off by it. So what I do instead is I carry, and I've mentioned this before in my videos, but I keep my mechanical pencil inside of my agenda, close it up right here, and this is its home. This is its home, and the best part is that this is very, very unlikely to stain the inside lining of my handbag. So I really can't stress that enough. Avoid using ink pens. I think we all have had that experience where a pen explodes randomly, and you do not want it to explode inside of your beautiful designer handbag. Just, you don't. It's bad. It's bad. Avoid it. Avoid it. Avoid it as much as possible. Another thing is that it's definitely normal to have some sort of like crumbs and lint and things inside of your bag. Everyone has it. It's inevitable, but the way I like to get rid of that is by using a small lint roller or tape wrapped around my hand to just sort of get as much of that out of the bag as I can. And the last thing that I'm going to touch on today is repairs. Eventually, a lot of the time you will need to repair one of your items, and when you do, I really recommend going to the designer boutique and having one of their workmen or, you know, artisan, whatever you want to call them, having someone from the boutique repair your pieces. Now, the reason for this is that a lot of people now try to authenticate things on their own, and if stitching is off or if there's a zipper pull that uses the wrong hardware, someone will automatically jump to the conclusion that your bag might not be authentic. So as much as you can, try and use the designer repair services. Now, I definitely have to tell you that they're more expensive than going to your local leather shop. I don't think it necessarily adds value to the bag, but it is a sort of a guarantee on the quality and craftsmanship, and going through your Louis Vuitton repair services or your whatever designer repair services, I think is the best way to do that. Also, as much as possible, avoid putting your bag on the floor. I know, you know, a lot of people have superstitions about putting your purse on the floor, but just, you know, from a practical sense, you don't want it to get stained, and that is the number one way that you get wear on the bottom corners of your bag. Now, when I go to price a bag and I'm trying to assess the condition of it, the first thing that I look for is the corners, and the second thing is the inside lining. That is very often the first thing to go on a handbag. So the best way to prolong the great condition of the corners of your bag is to use one of these when you need to. If you've seen my what's in my bag video, you will have seen this. I'll link that video down below in case you haven't, but this is a purse hook. But yeah, I mean, you can see here, this, you just hang this on any flat surface and your bag will be safe from the floor. It also, you know, prevents any type of stains or water or anything like that may be on the ground. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope these tips were helpful, and I hope you can use them to keep your bags in great condition. Now, just as a reminder, these are tips I really do use and really do recommend, for anyone, just based on what I see coming through the door when I'm really putting a dollar value onto a handbag. So hopefully these tips were helpful. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and if you have any other ones that you'd like to use as well, because I always love having great tips, and I think all of these videos, the comment sections, are such a great wealth of information about handbags and luxury. So please let me know in the comments down below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I do new videos every single week, and if you hit the bell icon, you will get notified when I do. So, that's all I have for you guys today, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!